Bedford is Australia's best-selling author on books on the share market. Her books focus on technical analysis. Seeing no need for fundamental analysis of stocks or the market, she uses price and volume action and indicators to come to conclusions about the likely future share price action. And as a female, she believes she has the edge when it comes to trading. Louise Bedford has 4 best-selling titles. She's also the director of tradinggame.com.au, and she joins me now from our Melbourne studio. And Louise, welcome to you. Welcome to Read and Profit. Just to start off, tell us a little bit about your books and I guess maybe where the starting point would be for someone interested in trading.
Sure. Well, look, usually I suggest that people start with my book, Trading Secrets. That takes you through all of the basics of share trading, but in particular, how to write a trading plan. So a trading plan needs to cover your entry, your exit, and your position sizing. And from there, move on to Charting Secrets. Charting Secrets is like the teacher's manual that you wish you had at school, where you see examples, but you also see answers. So you're really put on the spot. The next one to go for is the Candlesticks book. Everybody loves candles. I just adore them. So once you read that, you'll never be the same again. And after that, if you're after some leverage to spice things up, then my Options book would be the one I'd suggest.
And so what do you actually focus on when you're looking at the charts, analysing charts?
Look, what I'm looking for is a trend. So the key is, you might have heard, the trend is your friend. I'm looking to see whether there are more green candles than red, which means that the trend is going up, or if there are more red candles than green, it means the trend is going down. So the key that I'm looking for here as well is weighted evidence. I don't just look at the chart price action, I use a few specific indicators to give me an idea about what the future likely price direction will be.
What's the time frame of the charts you're mostly using? Daily, weekly, monthly? What are you looking at?
I start with a weekly, but then I move on to a daily. Most of my trades are medium term and some are short term, so I do use intraday charts for short term as well.
Some traders use technical analysis and fundamental analysis together. Now, I know that these days you don't use any fundamental analysis at all. Why?
Look, I've just found a lot of traders, myself included, had trouble developing consistent rules with fundamental analysis. And in fact, if you find out, I guess, when you ask traders how they actually apply fundamental analysis, it will depend on how they're feeling at the time, and that is death to a trader. So I look purely at price and volume action. The thing I'm looking for is trend, and if my idea about where the share price is likely to go isn't founded, I use a stop loss to exit the trade.
Louise, we had another stock market expert that we interviewed on last month's program, Marcus Padley, and he made the comment that really people are kidding themselves if they think that they can pick up technical trading and have a bit of a hobby and throw some money into the market. He says you've got to accept it's a full-time job. What do you think of that?
I do agree with him that it has to be work-oriented. You do have to spend some time getting yourself together, reading the right books, listening to the right CDs, and maybe perhaps 150 charts under your belt before you even start putting money into the market. But I certainly don't think it needs to be full-time. The majority of traders that I've trained aren't full-time, and even if they do go full-time in the market, I often suggest that they go back and get a part-time job, because there's just not enough to do as a full-time trader. Full-time traders tend to tinker with their plans. They tend to actually destroy that which they have created. So I actually disagree with the second part of what Marcus has said.
Okay, so let's get back to the charts, which is, as you said, the charts say it all. Give us an example of how you actually analyse, for example, the All Ords at the moment.
Well, look, the All Ords is in an interesting spot at the moment. You might have seen that it's been going sideways for a little while. It's between support and resistance. So it's just slipped below its exponential moving average, and that is a very bearish sign, but it's sitting right on support on the weekly chart. So if it drops through support, particularly on a big red candle and on heavy volume, I'd say we're in for some bearish time ahead. So it's in a transition cycle. If you're looking for bullish news, look for above the resistance level. What we'd be looking for there is a big green candle breaking out past resistance, preferably on heavy volume.
And what about times that you don't trade, times that you just stay out of the market completely? Are there times like that?
Oh, definitely. I think every trader needs a break. Every trader needs to go on holidays. They end up a little bit stale and jaded otherwise. But specifically as well, when you're looking at the charts, it's important that you take your trigger from the chart. One of the things that I look at, Brooke, is that I look at the volume and I look at the overall volatility indicator. So firstly, if there's not enough volume in a particular trade, I won't enter that trade. But in general terms, I don't trade if the volatility is greater than 5% per week. So during those times, you just don't make money whether you're going long or short. So it's just best to be out of the market and give yourself a break, have a bit of a holiday and then come back nice and fresh when the market is ready for you.
And now, Louise, you're one of maybe you could say few female traders. You know, you've got quite a role there, and you've got these best-selling books. You actually believe that you've got quite an edge as a female trader. Just explain that to us.
Definitely. There have actually been quite a few studies confirming this. One study with 35,000 households, they looked at how women traded in comparison to men. And what they found is that the women out-earned the men by 2% per annum. And when you look at that on a compounding basis, that is a real impact there. They also traded less often. Now, often what that means is, I guess, you know, guys, they've got a variety of quirks, we do too. The guys tend to have trouble with overconfidence and over-trading and taking revenge on the market. Whereas women, we have our own particular deficiencies also. We tend to lack confidence in the market. We worry whether it's a male domain, and actually also we can take a long time to get involved. We're good at multitasking, we're good at being conservative, but sometimes we can delay our own success a heck of a lot because it just takes us a long time to pull the trigger.
And I know that you're very keen on the idea of mentors as well when people are trading. Why is that so important?
Look, one of the things that I do is I run a mentor program in conjunction with my business partner Chris Tate, and we've noticed over the past 10 years or so that we've been running the program that people often flounder if they're alone, and they find that without support it can be a very, very lonely business. They're learning by trial and error, by hit and miss. So with having a mentor can direct you into the right direction. They can just say, look, don't do that, do this, and that can really help, and it can shortcut your learning curve immensely.
Louise Bedford, it's been great hearing from you and to talk about your books. So thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Great, thanks Brooke.